Welcome back to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Brooke Mangum, and whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with us a while, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We love our new friends and our old friends, and today we have a very special conversation with Kayla Frank. She's the founder of Wrapped Rad, and it's a bold baby brand that's born from her personal journey going through postpartum depression. And as a mom, I can completely relate to this. And it's such an incredible story that she was able to take something that is so hard and difficult and mold it into something that is a business and something to be proud of and something that's going to be able to help other moms out there. Because I can tell you, postpartum, you lose your mind in a different way, and being able to find something good and being able to help others is such a beautiful journey. So let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alora Murray, and I am sitting here with the owner and founder of Wrapped Rad, Kayla. I am so happy you're in the studio today.
I'm so happy to be here.
I mean, we've had you on the show before, and that's why this is called Fresh Off the Set, essentially. Mm-hmm. We go on the show, we come here fresh from filming, so we've had you on the show, but now we get to talk to you even more about this awesome company you've started. Let's start with the basics. What is Wrapped Rad?
So Wrapped Rad, kind of in the name and kind of why I named it Wrapped Rad is, so I had my baby. The biggest thing when you become a parent is you're like, I just want my kid to be in something cozy and something that I as the parent loves, right? Mm-hmm. And so I loved bright things, putting them in bright things. And of course I was crazy about being cozy. So I kind of was like, why don't we just marry the two together? And usually I wrap my Lucas in Rad clothes. So that's kind of where the name came from, was just Wrapped Rad.
I love it. I love the name. It is also so fun to say, and it's such a cool name, and it just screams Kayla. I mean, I've known you for what, almost 10 years?
Yeah.
We're getting near a decade, and this, like the logo, everything is so you. I love it. You started, and this is one of the reasons why we really wanted to get you here, have this conversation to make it a little longer, is you actually started Wrapped Rad during a time in your life that, was really tough. Can you take us back to that moment and what really actually led you to creating this brand?
Mm-hmm. After I had Lucas, I went through some pretty severe postpartum depression, and it was something that I didn't really understand or really know. I mean, we hear about it all the time, depression, anxiety, all the things that come with having a baby. And even after I had Lucas, a lot of my family was like, just be aware. And a few months, the first couple months, it was hard to be a new mom because,
for those of you who don't know, Kayla and I had our babies within
weeks of each other.
Yeah. So my Jamie was born the 2nd, and then Lucas was
the 17th.
The 17th. So we were
in the depths together.
Yeah.
We were texting each other constantly.
Yeah. And I was so jealous because your baby liked to sleep. Yes. Mine did not.
My baby loves to sleep. Loves to sleep.
But keep going.
So really I was having a hard time, but in my mind I was like, it's parenthood. It's being a new mother. It's not really knowing what I'm getting myself into. And I even thought, well, maybe it's because I'm a little older and I've had this life that I've done for years and years and years. And maybe I'm just, as much as I knew what I was getting myself into, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Until you have a baby and then you're like, oh wow, this is a lot more than we think. And it was like, it just kept getting worse and worse, and to the point where I wasn't getting out of bed. I didn't want to get out of bed. At night, I couldn't sleep. So I was almost doing the opposite, sleeping during the day, but not sleeping at night. Mm-hmm. Everything my husband did bugged me. Everything my kid did started to bug me. And that's when I kind of was like, there's something going on. This innocent child who I do love more than anything. It's the weirdest feeling when you have postpartum depression, because you look at this human that you just created and you're like, I love you so much and I'm so obsessed with you. But every time he cried, I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Can we just get it together? He doesn't know any better, right? Yeah. So that's when I was like, okay, something's going on. And that's when I kind of looked for help. But before all that, the one thing, as I was going through this and it was just getting worse and worse, the one thing that gave me joy was dressing my little Lucas in super loud, crazy colors, which you know me from before I was
all black all the time. And then all of a sudden I had this baby, and then it was oh, I just want to wear color. I want to put my baby in color. It's fun. I take all of his month milestone pictures and super bright colors. Yes. And that's kind of where I found my excitement
day in and day out of while being a mother and going through this postpartum depression. So as I was saying earlier, like as a parent, you are very particular about what you're putting your kids in, whether it's clothes, blankets, crib sheets.
Yeah.
Towels,
Absolutely.
whatever. So I was like super particular about that, but then I also wanted super bright things, and I was having a hard time finding both together, that I loved the coziness of it, but I also wanted it to be bright. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll just like start doing something on my own and see how it goes. And as I was making designs and trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do is when I kind of was like, wait a second, I kind of want to do this like for reals. Like, let's just hone in on blankets and swaddles and like, let's make them fun and eccentric and loud. And I just want to do it.
Yes,
So I turned to my husband and he was like, yeah, let's do it.
I love that. And honestly, that is such a Kayla personality trait for those who don't know Kayla like I do, to be like, well, I'm just going to do this. And when was that actual emotional shift for you? Because you were in the depths of PPD, which I'll share about mine in a little bit, but you were in the depths of it. What was that emotional shift like when you were like, you know what? I can actually use what is bringing me joy as a creative outlet and make it something bigger. Where was that shift and how did that work?
So I would say it was not very long ago that I mean, you've been kind of following my journey since I started it, which was January. So that's like what, 8 months ago. It was like mid-December, January. And I started it like kind of being this thing. And then where the shift happened was where I was finally recognizing, I mean, I did go get help. I got meds. I got stuff that like really helped me day by day, like come out of like my deep darkness. But the big shift was when I noticed that this is what brought me excitement and joy, was doing things like designing blankets and swaddles and doing it for my baby. So it was mirroring the two things that were kind of like battling against each other.
Interesting.
And then I was like, well, this helped me, kind of come out of postpartum and find myself again, because we do have an identity shift when we have a baby. You think you're just going to have this baby and it's like, oh, whatever. But you have this baby and it's like you're a whole different person, and you don't realize how much of yourself that you lose because you're just giving so much to this baby, which you should be, It's an innocent baby who has no idea how to live, and all they want is your love, right? But when you're losing yourself and not really sure what to do and where to go, that's kind of where the emotional shift came, when I noticed that this was the thing that was making me feel excitement and joy for life again. And then I just became kind of obsessed with the motherhood part of it. And I mean, we can go into it down the line questions, but that's when I kind of was like, I wanted to bring the like awareness to motherhood.
Well, and let's talk about that now, because I honestly could talk about this at length. We could have like 7 million podcasts of me talking about motherhood, because you think, like, I am very blessed. I had best of the best growing up. My mom is an extraordinary woman. She is amazing. She is the most wonderful grandma. I was unfortunately never able to meet my husband's mom because she passed away before we started dating. And I remember my mom kind of telling me about motherhood, what it was like growing up. I saw my cousins, I'm really close to them, and I saw them become moms, but I did not realize any of the actual definition of motherhood until I went through it. And you were saying this Wrapped Rad isn't just about blankets.
No.
It is so deeply tied to motherhood, and not just, it's about moms who are going through it. Real experiences, IVF, postpartum, loss. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So while I was essentially coming up with this business and noticing that it helped me through my postpartum depression, and again, like you were saying, you don't really understand motherhood until you become a mother. Like I've watched my sister, my friends, just a ton of women around me like have babies and become moms, and you can see.
We worked together at a company that there were moms everywhere.
And you see it, but you don't really see it until you have a baby, and then you're like, oh, there's so much more to this that I didn't even fully understand. Yeah. And it's even interesting. I talk to random like women and just girls in general. And I was telling someone about like, okay, when you have a baby, this is how I feel during pregnancy. And this is how I felt right after I had a baby. And I had an emergency C-section. So it was like, there was even more, you know, that I was trying to explain to this girl.
Yeah. Both of our birth stories are
fun,
are a little traumatic.
Yeah. But it's interesting to me how much as we know, how much we don't know.
Yeah.
Whether it's just the community, but even women in general don't know fully. Like I was listening to, is it Kayla? I was listening to her story the other day and I was like dumbfounded that I didn't even know what IUI meant. And I finally was like, oh, like that's crazy what she has to do. You know, like going to the doctor every single day for months just to, you know, try and have a baby. And it to me, knowing what I had gone through and just kind of now understanding more wherever all other mothers are, whatever their journey is to become a mother, I just wanted to bring more awareness to it. I have this like, I don't know, there's just like this soft spot in my heart now that I'm just like, I just want people to know about mothers, like everything they go through, because it's deep. Like being a mom is the coolest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life, but also it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
Oh, I tell people that all the time. And it, like Kayla and so many of my friends, I have seen friends go through heartbreak and hope and when it comes to IVF and trying to have babies. And the same thing when people do have kids. And I have talked at length on the podcast, on the show about mental health. I am a big proponent of speaking up about mental health, of getting help with mental health, and everyone is different. Some people see therapists, psychiatrists, some people take medicine, some people don't. I am not a doctor, so I can't tell people what to do. But for me, and one of the reasons I love your brand so much is you're shedding light on this. My journey was so interesting because I've been speaking out about mental health for years. I have had anxiety since I came out of the womb, and I had postpartum depression really bad. I just assumed, like you said, it was being a new mom. My baby born early. There were some complications. He ended up in the NICU for several days, and then he was colicky for a good 4 months. And I just assumed everything I was feeling was coming from that. I will be honest, everyone's PPD, if you've had it, my heart goes out to you. Everyone's is different. I don't think I came out of mine till maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
When my mom noticed it. And she started asking me questions, and because I had snapped about, I was literally tears streaming down my face because my baby liked my husband more than me. He reached for him instead of reaching for me. And the way I reacted, my mom was like, I think you have PPD. And I was like, still? How could I still have it? And it was like kind of a gut check for me because I'd been talking about mental health for so many years. I felt silly that I didn't see it, but it was a new thing that I hadn't come across yet. And they were dark times for me. They were really, really tough times, and I get emotional about it because it was awful. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was horrible. But coming out of that and having brands like this and you opening up about this, moms really need to support each other instead of, judging each other.
Right.
And things like that. And I am so truly grateful for my baby. It is, like you said, it is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but the biggest blessing I have ever had. But you need to take care of yourself too.
Right.
And that is why I love that you are shedding light on PPD, motherhood, and all the good and the hard things that come within motherhood. It is a beautifully complicated wrapped package.
Yes.
And I love that you're doing that. And that's why you say a lot of the time, you know what, this brand is just as much for mamas as it is for babies, which is kind of what we're talking about. But why is that so important to you? And why do you keep saying that phrase?
Because really it was born because of my love for my little Lucas, but at the same time, it was the thing that brought me out of my postpartum, or at least got me to realize that I had postpartum depression and that I needed to do something. It gave me excitement, and that's why it's for mothers too, because I found something through my postpartum depression that made me very excited to just show up the next day. Yeah. Because when again, everyone's PPD experiences are so different, but like there was days that I was just like, I don't even want to do anything today. Yep. It was the one thing I looked forward to.
Yeah.
And so me realizing that I could find something that equally was for my baby and his well-being and him being cozy and fun and like super smiley and everything that he is.
And he is a very smiley baby.
Super smiley baby. But also the motherhood part of it being as it helped me find my identity.
I love it. And I love how what you said earlier, that there were two opposing things going on and you brought them together, and that's actually what got you out of your PPD. And I think that is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
I love that. And I mean, we've already talked a lot about what makes, your brand stand out from the crowd as far as what it was built upon and your motto and things like that. What are some other things that make it stand out?
I would say, pretty simple things would just be their very eccentric designs, which I feel like right now, I feel like the eccentric is starting to come back in style. But a year ago when we had our babies, everything was very neutral.
Yeah, that was
and navies.
That was a huge trend that was going on. When I would try to find my Jamie toys, it was very interesting to me how everything was so neutral, but that was the trend at the time.
Right. Yeah, like even toys. Yeah. Neutrals. So I was just like, I want something that's fun. Something that maybe not be for everybody, but also could be super exciting, because even now watching Lucas, he's like super into illustrations and knowing things. And so like some of our blankets have clouds on them. So he'll point to it. Like we said, he doesn't really talk yet because he could care less to talk, but he knows what it is if I said, where's the cloud? And he'll point to it. So that's kind of where it's coming from, is super eccentric, loud colors, but with illustrations, more or less for our babies. So they can like learn, but also love, like right now, Lucas is so into smiley faces. My husband's like, you trained him well. I'm like, no. He got into this himself.
Because I'm looking at your bracelets and they're covered. Oh, it's a peace sign.
There's a peace sign.
And a smiley face.
But Lucas is so into it. So like my very first blanket that I designed, so to speak, has smiley faces all over it in different colors. And he loves it. Like I even bought him a towel for swimming lessons that have smiley faces all over it because he's so into it. So that's kind of like where a lot of the trend started coming from too, is I was like, well, my child loves it. So most other kids are like I watch him and how he's growing up and what he's learning. Like I want to give that to other babies as well. Yeah. So that's one thing that kind of sets it apart. Biggest thing though is obviously it's deeply rooted in motherhood and the whole vibe of Wrapped Rad. Yes, it's for our babies and to be cool and eccentric and kind of loud and outgoing. But the biggest thing is just to bring awareness to motherhood.
And I love that. I really do. And I think that's what connects people to brands is a story. And then obviously awesome products, but that story is what makes people feel seen and heard. And I know a really hard thing for me during my PPD too was, like you said, I didn't want to do anything, but yet I was having severe FOMO. I don't know if we say that anymore. FOMO. I'm getting old. I don't know.
It's still in my vocabulary.
Okay, great. Well, we're the same age, so I don't know what Gen Zers are saying. But I was having like severe FOMO about everyone because, like I said, he was really colicky. Like I'm talking like screaming like 7-8 hours a day. And we eventually got it solved, but everyone was like living their best summer lives, obviously. And I had waited a very long time for my precious baby boy, but everyone was out there at the lake, boating, swimming, doing this, doing that. And I couldn't take him anywhere. And that brightness of summer, when bright shades come in for summer, the sun, that helped me a lot. So it makes total sense to me that you dressing him this way and wanting to give this to other women helped you. Yeah. Because that's a lot of got me out. And I'm not even going to use the word funk because it was so much more than that. It was so much more serious than that. And so it is, I love that we have those smiley faces out there, the lightning bolts, all this stuff.
It's so fun.
It's so much fun. Let's talk about Rad Mama of the Month. Talk to me about, first off, what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but let's tell our listeners what it is, how you came up with the idea, how people can nominate people. Tell us all of that.
So Rad Mama of the Month is basically highlighting a mom in the community. The way that we find mothers is nominations, and the nomination page is on the website, wrappedrad.com. The way I kind of came up with it, though, is this was kind of the first thing that I started or put into place when coming up with the Wrapped Rad, because I was like, oh, I want to highlight a mom. Again, this helped me out of something, so I want to do something. I want to give back. And right now, the giving back is like maybe a gift basket that's more tailored to like the specific mom and what she needs. Aww. So when someone nominates, there's a bunch of questions on there, and it even says like, do they need anything? Do they need diapers? Do they need a gift card somewhere? Do they need pedicure? Like, what do you feel like this mom needs? And then once we pick one for the month, we'll actually reach out to the mom and make sure that one, they're okay with it, because some moms, we're going to put it on the website, and some moms might not want that. So I want to reach out and make sure that they're okay with it first. Then also ask them exactly what they need. So that's kind of where it came from, is it was just my very first like inspiration that was like, okay, this helped me. I want to help another mom. So this was the first idea for bringing like the motherhood awareness into it.
And I will tell you, when I was in like the depths of it, I have a friend, you know her too. We used to work with a woman named Kim, and she had had her sweet daughter several months before we had ours. And she dropped off, and she didn't even know. I like messaged her the other day and said, thank you for how much this meant to me. She dropped off a care package at my door that had mantra cards for being a mother, extra clothes for Jamie, had some stuff for me, and it was just truthfully being seen by someone who had just knew what I was going through. And she just dropped it off, and I was so not in a place to have visitors that she didn't even ask to come in. She just dropped it off, and I was like, thank you so much. And I remember her saying, I was like, thank you so much, what can I do? And she was like, you know what, just pay it forward for another mama. And I honestly think that is what the motherhood community needs, what Kim did, what you're doing, because moms sometimes become invisible. They become invisible because they're working so hard to be the best mom they can be that sometimes they become invisible. And there's different judgment out there about doing this one way, and to be seen by each other is one of the biggest things you can do, and what you are doing, which I absolutely love, and I think we could use so much more of it. What kind of stories have you received through this campaign? What have the nominations been like? Has anything like really stuck out to you?
So we've gotten a good amount of nominations. We haven't officially launched it yet. Well, we've launched it, but we haven't officially like chosen our very first mom yet, because I just want to get it out more and get more nominations in, because I want to be able to go month by month by month by month.
Yes, of course.
Really what I've seen so far is I'm just kind of blown away. Again, like it just puts into perspective all the different things that even I still don't know, that I'm trying to learn more about, so I'm more aware about what people are going through.
I am shocked at how little I still
No. We do all this research and like for our own pregnancies, but like when you're not going through a specific thing, you don't really think that much about it.
And it's so crazy how different everyone's pregnancies are, how different everyone's birth stories are, and then how different everyone's kids are. Because I remember, like I just said, like your baby loved sleep. And I remember messaging you and I was like, Jamie doesn't sleep. He does not sleep. And part of that was because of how colicky he was. But it took us a long time to figure out this situation with Jamie. And so the first thing you do is blame yourself. What am I doing wrong? But it's just, I had a different baby, and
because they have their own personalities.
Jamie is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, but he is like me and has no chill. And so he's very feisty, very energetic, and needs to be moving at all times. So of course he didn't like sleeping, but we just need to remember that there's so many different moms, so many different pregnancies, so many different babies. We're all different.
Well, and it's funny that you say like you blame yourself, because I can't tell you how many times something wasn't going right in my mind, wasn't going right, and I was like, I am the mom.
Yes.
This is what I was built for, literally. Why can I not figure this out? When really I'm a new mom. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I only know what I know, and it's not very much.
Oh, and I talked to you about this too. My sweet baby boy has a very, very strong gag reflex. And any of you mamas out there who have a baby like this, you feel me. When everyone else's kids were just loving their purees, because Jamie's gag reflex is so strong, I didn't know this. When babies learn to swallow, they gag and then they swallow. Jamie would gag and throw up. So we were dealing with throw up multiple times every day because he just couldn't swallow that well. We had to see specialists. We had to do all this stuff. And I was like, this is my fault. My baby cannot swallow, and it is my fault. And it wasn't till maybe a few weeks ago that he is now doing better. He doesn't gag and throw up. And it was it's a genetic thing from my side, and he was a preemie. So he was a little behind on some development. Every single day, it was somehow my fault, and I was doing something wrong. It took my mom realizing I had PPD and the doctor to be like, this isn't, sometimes babies are just different, and different things happen. This is a genetic thing on your side of the family, and he was a preemie baby. So this isn't on you, but I think so many moms are like, something's going wrong, and it has to be me.
Well, and it's funny because we love social media. Let's be honest. I love social media. It's a love-hate relationship.
Love-hate.
But we watch other moms and their babies and like all their milestones. And even I watch my nephew growing up, who's now 5, almost 6, and he is incredibly smart. Like was talking at like 7 months old. Like he just was, and walking super early. Like he was just such a smart boy. And so then I have my own baby and I'm judging my baby off of him. And my baby's 14 months and still not talking, like doesn't even care to talk, right? Where my now new nephew is 3 months behind and he's already saying words and like mimicking animal sounds, but my baby could literally care less. And for a long time, I worried about it because I was like, is there something wrong with my kid? Did I do something wrong? Am I not teaching him enough? And I finally had to step back and be like, kind of like you with Jamie, like this is just his MO. Like this is just what he wants to be active, run around, be outside, do all of that kind of stuff. He doesn't care to talk. It'll come when it comes.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I literally, Kayla, me, you, and then I had 3 other friends who all had baby boys within the same month. And it is so hard to not compare. And then you end up just being like, well, if their child's doing this and mine's not, it must be me, right? But it's like what you just said. No, it's just their personality. And that is really why this motherhood community is so important, to be like, hey, mama, guess what? It's not you. All kids are different. And hey, mama, guess what? You're amazing. And you're doing a great job.
Yes.
And that's what we need more of.
That's what we need more of, is just not the judgment, not the, well, you should do this and not this, or you got them off formula too early, or sorry, off breast milk too early. Like, we're all doing our best.
That's the whole point of this. And that's why I keep saying this over and over again, but that's why this brand is so great, because it's bringing mothers together over something so fun and so cute, but so meaning. So, I mean, and we've talked a lot about that. What is next for your company? What's coming down the pipeline? Can you give us, a sneak peek? What's happening?
So there's lots of plans that I have. Of course, first and foremost is getting the product here. Manufacturing's been fun. We all know how the world's going right now. So manufacturing's been a little tough, but it's also because I'm very picky about fabric.
And we love it.
And I mean, that's why I'm doing it anyways. That's why I first started, because I hated the fabric and the designs and I just wanted what I wanted. So picky about fabric. So that's obviously the first thing. We will have a launch party that is going to be open to the community. Anybody can come. And that's where we'll kind of like unravel a bunch of this stuff that I'm going to talk about. We'll have different collections. Like I'm going to have a remembrance line that'll be dedicated to babies or parents that have lost babies. So like including my sister who lost her son very tragically from a genetic disorder. It's going to highlight parents and mothers who have lost children, and they get to design the blanket themselves, and they can call it whatever. Usually it'll probably be called like the name, like the Huddy or the Auto, something like that, and then it'll obviously have whatever they want it to be representing their kid. We have a Rainbow Babe blanket that it will come out on the first launch, and that one's all about rainbow babies and just for moms who have had a hard time with like miscarriages and bringing babies, to the earth. So that one's going to be all about that. We will have a podcast.
Love it.
Yes, we're going to have a podcast. And really what I want on the podcast is just moms telling their stories. That's what it's going to be. And then I would like to also bring in professionals to talk about IVF, IUI, therapists, anyone to come in and kind of like debunk this stuff or just educate the community on exactly what it is.
Yeah, because also there are so many things about pregnancy and, birth that I had no idea. Like I didn't even this is for another time, but the complication I had, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Right.
Had no idea.
Yeah. So I just want to bring in professionals to educate people in the community on exactly all these different things that we really don't know about. And then of course, obviously highlighting moms and letting them tell their story from their point of view. So that having that podcast, I'm going to do probably a 5K.
Love it.
That'll be all about remembrance of the children that have been lost. And then I have other ideas like adventure, like scavenger hunt adventures and other stuff coming.
Amazing
down
things.
the pipeline. Yeah.
Amazing things. So for those who want to connect with you, how can they do that?
I would definitely get on the socials. Wrapped Rad is all the socials. And then wrappedrad.com. For sure, get on that, and that's where kind of all the information. The socials is where I'll do most of the updates, but if you just want to get your order in, right now we're doing pre-orders till we get the actual blankets in, but then getting on there and just voting for Rad Mama of the Month. I think that's the biggest thing right now, because that's one of the big things that I want to start and just get going is highlighting moms in our community.
Beautiful. Love it. So, I mean, looking back, how do you think this brand and this journey has changed you as a mom?
I think it's given me more love and appreciation for other women and moms in general, where there's a lot of things I didn't understand until I became a mom. And I think that's where my appreciation started to come from, was just understanding how easy but how hard it is to be a mom, and just the mental aspect of it. Just feeling like, even now, I mean, I'm 14 months in with Lucas, and there's still days that I'm like, oh my goodness, like, am I doing this right? Am I a good mom? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just I have a lot more appreciation from watching other moms and finally really understanding kind of like what they've been going through.
So what would you say to a mom out there who is listening to this podcast and is like, that sounds a lot like what I'm going through, and they're probably going through a dark time right now themselves?
I would say reach out, because you probably are. And the best thing that I ever did was talk to somebody about it and not hold it in and not continually just blame myself. Yeah. Because that's what we do, is we hold it in because we're trying to be the perfect mom. We're trying to be the perfect wife, or whatever we're trying to be, that we forget about ourselves. And that's the first thing that changed or helped me start getting out of the darkness, was just telling somebody. Yep. So whether that's friends, family, I mean, let's be honest, like, reach out to me. I don't care. Like, I want to talk to everybody. That's kind of like my thing now. Like, when new moms have babies, the first thing I do is reach out to them and go, if you need anything. And it's not just me doing it just because I'm doing it. Like, I really do have a love and appreciation now. So if you're feeling in a dark place, whether it's depression, anxiety, just anything, just reach out to somebody.
And that, I would say 100% do that.
Yeah.
Because you are not a burden with your feelings, and we would love to help you.
Yes.
And I saw an Instagram post as we wrap up. This woman said that every time her friend has a baby, she sends them a message that says, I'm here for you, because sometimes you can't think what you need help with. Yeah. And she's like, would you, number 1, like me to bring food over? 2, come over and watch your baby so you can sleep. Or 3, come over and clean your house while you hold your baby. And she gives these moms these 3 options so that they know she's there, ready to help. And there was another option for, just come over and I can just talk to you. And I was like, that's beautiful. Yeah. Because we all need something different, and that's a very tangible thing to be like, I can do this, you pick. So if you can't think of what you need right now, here are some options.
Yeah, definitely. And when someone reaches out to you and says that, believe them that they want to do that. Yeah. Because I had all of my sisters-in-laws were like, we'll come over, we'll sleep, like, you sleep, we'll take them for the night shift. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm the mom, I should be able to handle this. But now that I'm like past all the depression, well, I'm not past it, but I'm farther through it. I finally am like, oh, I should have taken their advice and just had them come spend the night with them. Like, you know, so a big thing is 1, talk to somebody. And if somebody is reaching out to you and saying, if another mother is reaching out to you saying, what do you need? They truly mean it. They really want to know what you need, because we all need something.
Yes, very much so. And Kayla, I have absolutely loved interviewing you today. It has been amazing. I know your company people are, not only going to love everything that you're coming out with, but they're going to love to be part of this community you are creating. When we're going to wrap up, and this is something we do, it's called the Fresh 5, where I just ask you 5 random questions so the audience can get to know you on the fly.
Okay.
Really fast.
Okay.
So number 1, what is a food that you could eat for the rest of your life?
A food that I could, honestly, ramen noodles.
Oh, she's a simple gal.
I'm pretty simple. Ramen noodles is like my thing.
I love that.
Literally. I have a whole pack at home right now. Like, I bought the big Costco pack. And it's like the least healthy food you could eat. But I'm like, there's days that I'm just like, I just need a bowl of ramen.
I love it. Okay. I know you have traveled all over the world. What is your very favorite place that you've been?
Honestly, Hawaii. I've been to a lot of places, but the vibe of Hawaii, just how slow it is, and it's just beautiful and warm, and it's like my safe place.
Okay, if you could pick your favorite superhero, who would it be?
Ooh, I'm kind of into Black Widow. Is she a superhero?
Yes, she is, most definitely. She's part of the Avengers.
But, I'm kind of unconventional, so...
Why is that? She's so cool.
Yeah.
I would definitely,
she's a BA, right?
Yeah, she's awesome. I mean,
it's weird.
Is it though? No, she's like super famous. She's a Marvel superhero, so everyone knows who you're talking about.
But she's got cool red hair.
Oh, I love her.
She's an unconventional hero.
You know how many times she's like a rogue superhero?
Yeah.
We love a rogue super. My mom like anything we watch, she always likes the rogue superhero.
That's me.
Loki, Phantom of the Opera, Sirius Black, like all the like roguish ones.
Can I also add, you tell me what you think.
I'm ready.
Elphaba.
I mean, she's not a superhero, but I get where you're going with this. And I am not surprised in one bit that you said that.
I mean, let's be honest. I pre-gamed to Wicked in the car before I got it here.
Also, I'm pretty sure you may have some of Elphaba's clothes in your closet.
I do.
I knew it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Guess his clothes are in my closet.
Linda. Is it Galinda or is it
No, I'm
Glinda?
Glinda now.
I was joking with my husband the other day. I was like, you know what? Allura is the Glinda to my Elphaba. Like,
I will do it. You saw my desk out here.
yeah, it's pink. I love it.
I know.
And I'm the unconventional one who's kind of weird and dresses weird. And
Oh, don't mind me. I'm quirky as can be. I just
yeah, but so is
love
Glinda.
pink.
I love her.
We love it.
Yeah.
So you could say Elphaba's a superhero because to some people,
She's
she
my
is.
superhero.
I love it.
Like the story of Wicked blows my mind. It's like she goes through her life kind of just being Elphaba, and then she has one person believe in her, and then it changes her whole trajectory of life. It's so cool.
We could do another podcast just about
Yes.
Wicked. Number 4, what is a quote you live by?
My all-time favorite quote is "To live would be an awfully big adventure" from Peter Pan.
I love it. I think that's beautiful. And then number 5, what is your song that is on repeat right now? Defying Gravity?
Defying Gravity. It is. Because it's my life right now.
Well, Kayla, thank you again so much for being with us. And for everyone else, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.